Hi, it's Kim, and welcome to the channel today. Here on this Memorial Day weekend, I have had a plant haul with my daughter. I am going to start with some of the outdoor plants. I picked up some perennials. These two are a couple of the perennials that I'm going to plant outdoors in the yard. I am not sure if this one will be container or not, but let me show you. Now you may recognize this one if you're a fan of geraniums. I am. Now this is a hardy geranium that you plant outdoors, comes back every year and just gets bigger and bigger. This one is a Roseanne. I've always wanted a Roseanne, and now I have one. And again, it's a perennial that will come back every year. It goes in sun or a little bit of part shade, and it blooms the entire season long. And if it ever seems like it gets tired and wants to stop blooming, you just kind of shear it off, clean it off, and it will grow and continue to bloom again. And these leaves will turn a real pretty orangey red shade in the fall. It's just a wonderful plant. I really can't wait. Let me see if I can hold it steady so I can concentrate on that flower. But I really can't wait to see what that's going to look like in the yard. I'm either going to plant it there in the sun somewhere, or I'll put it in a container, a huge, large container. Not really sure which, but those are my two outdoor plants. This is one of the plants I got in our plant haul yesterday. Not a house plant. This is an outdoor plant. It is a Hellebore. This is called Maid of Honor. There's a whole series of different colors called the Wedding Party series. And this one was one of the ones that they had left. And I decided to grab it. It looked in really good shape, because these, once they bloom in early February, March, they start to deteriorate. And so this one looks really nice. It may have a little bit of growing left to do. The ones that I had planted outside already, I have one that I've carried over from my other house, and I wanted more. But I've decided to get this, and I'm going to get it planted. Now these were only, you can see, $12.99. And for a Hellebore, I think that's a very, very good price. But I love this one, and the other one I have is a really deep rose. So I think these will be very complementary. But that's going to go into the ground this afternoon. I'm putting this with my other Hellebore. That's over at the side boulder garden, just at the top of the retaining wall. I really think that looks nice. Now this is the biggest pot of plants I got, and I couldn't carry that in. It's just too big of a pot. So I'll just show it to you outside here on the porch. It is a large shade pot. It was labeled as shade. It needs 4 hours of direct sunlight, no afternoon sun. And this was only $25. So we picked it up. It has spider plant, the Trandescandia, really large leafed one. I don't know if that means it's older or just that's its variety, but a lot of color there. A big fern inside there, and then lots of bridal veil. That's another variation of Trandescandia. And it's blooming here and there. You can see that. I think that's all the varieties. There's a large extension of the spider plants coming out down there. But it really is a beautiful, beautiful planter. Let me see if I can get down there where the price tag is. Price tag was $24.99. I don't know if it says it there. I can't see it. but that one made a very nice arrangements to put out here. And if we can keep this alive, we definitely can start a lot of cuttings to take in the winter when this can no longer survive outside. Now, in addition, these are some more of the plants we got in our plant haul. A few small ones, and then the larger ones here. How about let's start with these larger ones. I got these. They are elephant ears. Right here, we got these for $11.99. It's a gallon, 2 of them. And they are called elephant ears coffee cups. And the reason they're called coffee cups is because the stem comes up, forms a cup, and I read on the internet that it collects water. The weight of the water pulls the cup down and it drops it to the ground. So isn't that wonderful? I had never heard of that. It says they're fast growing. These little sprouts were 2 days ago were at the bottom, just barely peeping out like those are, and now they're up this high. So we're going to get those in the next day, possibly later this afternoon. I'm going to get those planted. But look how pretty that leaf is. You know, it's a really large leaf. We've got, 2 on that one, 2 on that one. This one is also starting some little tiny ones growing out of the bottom of it. But that's basically what these looked like just 2 days ago. So we are getting a definitely a fast-growing leaf. Now these are Colocasia esculente. I'll put that at the top of the file. And they do say they grow quickly. And I don't know if you noticed, they do have black stems. Well, black as plants get. But I think those are going to be lovely. Now, also one of the other plants is a mandevilla. And I guess there's a difference between a mandevilla and a diplandenia. I'm not sure exact pronunciation. But we got this one, a rose one. I don't know, is that going to focus real pretty? But this one was advertised as the diplandenia. I can't get that to focus, but it says deep red, container plant for full sun. Now there's a lot of growth beginning on this one. Now my research tells me that the diplandenia is made for baskets and for hanging, and the mandevilla, they're the close cousins of each other, I guess, is a more of the climber, that you put it in something that it can climb because it wants to go upward. But this is in a small, I think that was only a pint cup. And I don't know, did I give you the price? The diplandenia was $5.99. And that was our wonderful red addition to the flowering plants for my screened plant jungle. Now after that, the other plant, let me go next to the flowering maple. See, let me get away from that window. Flowering maple. Now, the flowering maple it's also known as Chinese bellflower, Chinese lantern flower, and it is, you can tell by its blooms, because this one is blooming, it's a relative of the hibiscus. Just look how pretty that plant, that flower is. The leaves are somewhat shaped like a maple, but this one is kind of a pretty red-orange, Here, let me get down here where you can get a good angle on that one hanging there at the bottom. Isn't that pretty? And then the buds ready to bloom do look like lanterns in there. I think it's really, really pretty. Now, these are just small container plants, unlike a big hibiscus that gets as tall as I am, but it's a relative of the hibiscus. These were also $5.99. And this one says it is a part of the Bella series. It gets about 15 inches tall. So that should be a really nice plant for my collection, or I should say mine and my daughter's. These plants really belong to both of us. But that is a gorgeous plant. I got to get it in the ground, well, into a larger container right away. And then also, in our big giant container I showed you outside, we had the bridal veil. But I also bought, just a single pot of the bridal veil. And that one, it's known as Tahitian bridal veil. And I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Jabasis geniculata. It's a member of the Tradescantia family. It looks like the tiny leaves are the same, but those tiny little flowers are just so cute. They look like tiny little balls waiting to bloom. But that's a pretty plant. You see them a lot in big voluminous hanging planters where it grows down and forms a nice big ball. So that's what I'm kind of hoping for once we get it planted outside. Excuse me. And that was only $5.99. I think that these were quart pots. Yeah, quart pots for these. Oh, sorry. Quart pots. That flowering maple was also the quart pot. And then the only other one is a tiny plant. And it looked like a little cactus. I was looking for a rat-tail cactus and couldn't find any. But I did come across this little cactus, or what I thought was a cactus. And it is, I'm going to have to read this name, Trichodiadema densum. And I looked that up to read about it, and it calls it a miniature desert rose. So this is a desert rose plant. And I have wanted a desert rose. This one gets no more than 4 inches tall. And it does say in that fine writing that it has red flowers, or it says magenta. But that sounds wonderful. I had bought that for a little elephant that my mother had when she was a girl. And I have been around that all my life. I'll get that and show you a picture of it so that you can see what the little elephant looks like. And I'm going to plant it in that and just try to water carefully. But these are all the plants we got. I think we got a really good haul of plants. It's been fun doing it. There's my receipt. We went to Stockslager's again. And you can see all my prices. It really was a good deal there for all these plants that we got. But thanks for joining me today, and I hope you love the plants as much as I did. And I will show you when we plant and when we get each of these individually out into their own containers. But look how pretty that is. But thanks for joining me. See you again on the next video.